Welcome.
Bienvenidos, bienvenidas.
Willkommen.
Ahla wa sahla to breakfast together.
And welcome to another episode of Breakfast Together.
Hello, everybody. But this is a special episode, like some of the other ones as well.
It is very special because today we have our dear friend, Mr. Cuba, Don Guillermo. Ya tú sabes. Bienvenido. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bienvenida, Sara. Bienvenida.
So we always like to begin recalling of how we met for the first time. And personally, I remember meeting Guillermo in Budapest in 2023. And this is also the same time when the idea of Breakfast Together podcast came into life. And it's funny because I don't remember seeing you much during the event itself, but I do remember seeing you dancing on the boat in your natural ambient.
I remember that one as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So just to introduce Guillermo, Guillermo is Cuban, polyglot, as you probably might have understood, and he's 30 years old. He currently lives in Germany, where he's pursuing a master's in business psychology.
It's a lot.
But it's interesting because you have this interesting mix because you are from Cuba and now you live in Germany and
Yes.
like how is that, like how do you do you feel like you have two personalities? Do you feel that this has somehow like is like a contradiction for you? Like how do you feel about this?
Like today you're Hans, tomorrow you're Guillermo, you know.
Like that's funny because I remember when I was traveling to Spain that I met many Spanish people and they were asking me, "Oh, where are you from?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Cuba." "All right, nice. And where do you live?" "In Germany." And they didn't get it, like how does a Cuban live in Germany? That both culture that doesn't fit together. And I said, yes, but you get used to it, So we can say like it's a lot of that can be asked in a very frequent way. So basically, I was born in Cuba, but I came to Germany when I was 10. So in South Germany, which is like Swabian, Schwäbisch, like in German.
Schwäbisch, yeah.
So I get used to the culture and the dialect. So I also speak the German dialect from the south, which is funny because people don't understand it from other parts originally.
This Cuban speaking Schwäbisch man.
Yes.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, but yes, but to give a little bit of a context, I was from the beginning on in the cultural surrounding, because when I came to Germany, I was in a class for learning German with one teacher and people from different nationality, so Cuban, American, Asian, Africans from all around the world. So we all have one common goal to learn the language. And after that, or actually like after 1 year, or after you speak fluent enough so that you can be in a normal school with German students, to join the other classes. So that's where my interest for languages come. So like also cultures, understanding. That's why basically I started, I remember basically I started learning a Turkish song and I still know it by heart. Even the polyglot, when I meet Turkish people, I try to speak with them. So I sing this song. It's actually a child song, which is very funny because most of them, they remember them when they were kids. So
okay, and you heard this song in class.
I mean, it is fascinating. Yeah, it is fascinating. And from that time on, I use music to learn languages because for me it's like the most natural way. So I can memorize lyrics, rap music, for example, hip hop, and so for me it's just like it's get the vibe, get the rhythm, and then you have the rhythm when you speak one language. So when you listen to the song, yeah. So that's something that I highly recommend as well.
Okay, it's interesting that you say that because I think I think for most people, like songs are one of the things that they use most to learn a language or to get inspired for learning a language. And it's always like it's catchy, it's repetitive, so you can listen to it over and over and over again. It sticks in your head. But
Exactly.
usually people
La
have.
mamá de la mamá de la mamá. For example, just just throwing it out there.
Random example.
Possible suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a way to learn Spanish.
Maybe a bit limited vocabulary wise, but
Yeah, but you dive deep into the culture,
Yes.
and it's interesting because I think many people who are learning German have this a bit of a struggle because there's this impression that German does not have so much, like so much music, for example, that people, especially foreign people who don't live in Germany can learn and use to practice with. But I remember last time we spoke, when you were in Berlin, you mentioned that there is a lot of pretty good German rap actually, and that that's just like a very good way to learn German. I don't know if you started with if you did that also as a kid, like if you listened to German rap and if it helped you to
I know
learn
one.
it.
Easy, tamam, tamam.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're really good German rappers like Semi Deluxe, which is very poetic and very, yes, he's very talented. And you can see in his lyrics that it's like beyond. You can even also interpret, so you can use it as a music interpretation. Also Sido, which is also one good as well. Yeah, so there are a few rappers, also musicians, which you can use for learning German as well.
But when you were growing up and you were going, for example, to this the language school, were you also listening to new music back then, or did you learn only by the school and maybe some socialization? I guess.
So back in that school, I basically it's a normal school. So I mean, in German you have this three system, school system like Hauptschule, Realschule, and Gymnasium. So it was a Hauptschule, but with a special class. It's only existed in South Germany.
Okay.
Only in South Germany. Yeah, yes. Back then, it was called it's German abbreviation VKL. So Vorbereitungsklasse. So maybe it prepares you to go to a normal class with German students. So with people who live in Germany, and you have all subjects, like maths, science, but with one teacher that teaches you the language. So basically, so that's the concept basically. So you bring all people together, so they're foreigners, and then they will learn the language, German language.
But you only spoke Spanish, right? When you arrived to Germany, just 10 years
only
old?
spoke Spanish. Yes, only spoke Spanish. And since I have, so my stepfather was from Italy, so I also learned Italian. So I grew up also in Italian culture, so that's why I also speak Italian. So Italian culture, Italian cuisine, so customs, all of it.
The best way.
So
I didn't know this. This is fun. Yeah.
So that's why I'm also, so I also grew up also speaking Italian. So through languages, Italian, Spanish, and German. It was a little bit of mix, which is very chaotic back then.
I can imagine, yeah.
But I wanted to ask you because on your language, on your name tag at the events, you mentioned 3 languages as native. You mentioned Spanish, German, obviously, and English as well. How come?
Yes, because so I have family also in North America, also based in the US and Miami, Florida. I remember when I was a kid, I was traveling there. So back then, when I was a kid back then, where things were still, less problematic than now. Also, my grandma, she was also from North America. So I have a lot of kind of part of it. So it's a mix of US, Northern America, but also from Saudi Arabia, because my grandpa was from Saudi Arabia. So I have a little mix from all of it. Yeah, that's interesting. But I grew up, in the Salsa Island, Cuba.
This is crazy. I'm learning so many things about you. You are as, mixed and multicultural as it can get.
Man, you're the child of 5 continents.
Yeah, and then I end up in South Germany speaking Schwäbisch,
Schwäbisch.
which is like enjoying and enjoying how you say Käsespätzle. I don't know if
Of
there's an English
course.
word for it. It is a thing, and when I was in the south of Germany, it's a different vibe from other part of Germany. You get used to it. You speak like them. You engage in conversation. There's a phrase which is schaffe, schaffe, Häuselbau. Like in South, it's more like you work hard, then
Mm-hmm.
someday you build a house, enjoy
Hmm.
family,
Mm-hmm.
and so I like those traditions. Also in school, I mean, I didn't see anything else. So in South is different, maybe from Berlin or Northern Germany.
Yeah.
So for me, it was right. For me, it was nice, and I get to know a lot of people. Yeah, and I think like being with them around, so you also learn different dialects, because even in South Germany, you have different regional dialects, which is very interesting. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're linguistically interested in the language or like that, so you can learn a lot of it. Um, it's make it easier to get to know German people, because once you know the German language and even dialects, you really get to know a different vibe from German people, which is
Of
very
course.
unique. And so like,
Mm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But also, I wanted to ask you another thing about your childhood. How was it, if you remember, like growing up?
yeah,
Was it a cultural crash for you to come to Germany, because it is completely different from Cuba? It's like a total different world. Do you remember anything? Any special or funny
yes,
situations?
I remember everything. I was 10 years in Cuba, so from '94 to 2004, and of course, in Cuba, I had my own Cuban mindset, like going to school, I have uniform, in Cuba, we use uniform, different system. And I came to Germany in November 2004. So,
Ooh.
remember in Cuba, it is warm, like you're dancing all around, it's warm. It's like 30 degrees. We don't know this kind of 15 or cold or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
This is an
yeah.
island. So, coming to Germany, November, which is winter, I had my little shorts, Cuban shorts, like little chancletas, and I remember like a small jacket, and I landed in Dusseldorf for the first time.
Uh-huh.
And then when I get off the plane, like, hell no.
I want to go
How?
back.
You know,
I want to go back
Going
in.
back.
yeah, I could not, man, I feel I was dying. That was too much for me.
Oh.
Like very, coming from very warm area and then
Mm.
getting down the plane, and just completely being this shock, like you went in cold water for all of the, for instance. So that was a lot, And also when I get on the when I was at the airport, that I remember my cousin, he wanted to show me like he buy me a döner, like back then I didn't know what is that,
Of course. Welcome to
and
Germany.
I
Here's the
saw that.
dinner.
I said like, nah, I cannot do that. No, man. I could not enjoy it now, man.
You eat
No,
this.
man. Man, I need my arroz, my beans,
Yeah,
like
frijoles.
that all that. Yeah, that was a cultural shock. So I remember that,
Hmm.
and so it was winter. It was cold. So it was also like dark. So at 5 p.m. it's
Oof.
already dark. So it was very hard for me. Like waking up in the morning, it was dark. Going back
Mm-hmm.
home, it was dark.
Mm.
It was tough. It was really tough.
Hmm.
I didn't know no one. That's the language sounds weird to me. Um,
Can imagine, yeah.
People didn't greet each other, so there was no kind of hello, how you doing? There was no
Uh-huh.
nothing like that. Yeah, so yeah, it was bad. Like, I was really like cultural shock,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember when I was in school, I was very shy. I was actually sitting in one corner, and people talking to me like, "Do you speak English? Do you speak English?" And I thought back then it means, "How are you?" in German, and I said, "Damn." Yeah, so like, yeah, so do you speak English? Like, man, I'm a Spanish guy. I speak Cuban. So yeah, so I mean, that was like the hardest part at the beginning.
Hmm.
but it get to use, the more I was getting used to the language, the easier it gets. And then like summer, so I already knew how to speak German, so it was like, okay, now I see the sun, I see like the vibe a little bit, so that was very nice for me, to like, for sure.
That's true. That's true. I think it's a shock for many people. I mean, even I, when I went to, like when I moved to Germany for the first time, like to live there, it was also something like November or something, and arrived at night.
Yeah.
And, you get off the bus and it's like dark, cold, empty, and it's like you're in a new place, and it's like all of the shocks at the same time.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it's especially after Cuba. It's I can imagine it's even more extreme.
Yes. Yes, and also one thing, so in Cuba we used uniform going to school, so I didn't have to think what to wear. So in Germany, so I had to also. It's like stressful to think what do I wear now today. Like I mean,
certainly
that's so a different system. So I didn't know. Okay, damn. Okay,
how to fit in.
Okay, exactly. So I think the one thing that helped me also a lot that I joined like soccer clubs. So like local clubs playing, and also back then American football. So like after years in. Yeah, so that also helped me to connect with people.
Yeah.
So because in a soccer club, we're all the same. We're just playing. So we didn't know there was no difference. So even if you don't speak the language, you can still play, So that was nice for me. And yes, that also helped me a lot. So basically, I try to engage in social activities a lot.
Yeah, it's true. Because if it's a physical activity, you connect through all of the other means, like body language, like the communication, you mix with other things. But another point I wanted to ask you is, so for example, from what you've told me, like in Cuba, it's like people are dancing like very like all the time. Like you don't have to like arrange, let's meet at 8 p.m. to go there to dance. It's a lot more like natural and spontaneous.
You arrive dancing,
Yes. I mean, you can imagine in Cuba when we grew up, so like so whenever you do your house chores, you put music on,
Nice.
So everybody's dancing, and like in el barrio, So the people, so, and you should dance, you have to dance, so because your parents will dance with you, so we'll show you directly the music. So, and you will hear music from all the neighbors, So it's like a natural environment. So it's not like, oh yeah, I have to dance. No, it's a natural environment because you hear everywhere. So we go out to the streets, you see the Malecon in Havana, like people there standing with the guitars and playing and dancing son, dancing rumba, whatever, attracting tourists, Like, for example, like in Cuba, the youth, they don't go to clubs, like, they, prefer to be on, on the beach or singing, playing, that's their culture, So like enjoying sunset, Malecon, good vibes.
Love it.
Cuba Libre, all this.
Ya tú sabes. By the way, are you from Havana? Which city are you from?
Yes, I was born in Havana. Yes, I'm from Havana. Okay. I'm from Havana. I was born there, but I also grew up in the south, which is called Santiago de Cuba. So that's where I grew up for like 5 years. But then I went back to Havana.
Okay. So like, and how was it for you, like in that part as well, like, coming from a culture where people not only dance, but also like spontaneously, there is music everywhere, and then going to, the south of Germany.
Do you mean in Cuba or do you mean in?
Like in Germany, like for example, that, I mean, like, did your parents like still like play music in the house? Like, did you have like this part of Cuba with you in a sense, at least in the house? And like, did you miss it? Like, did you miss like the spontaneity of dancing, or how was that for you?
You can't just go to Malecon in South Germany.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
No. Yeah, no, like in our house, yes, we did have music for sure. Of course, outside it wasn't that way. But yes, inside we always had kind of, listen to bachata music, traditional bachata. Listen to salsa. Yes, we did. Yes, that's for sure. Outside. It's not. You cannot put music outside. Like you'll be in trouble.
Even
Yeah. After 11.
even at home,
Yeah,
like
10,
Hello,
10.
Polizei.
after 10, even at home,
Even
it's like Polizei. It's
yes,
it's a
yeah.
different
That's
world.
why. So it's a different world. Yeah, yeah. So
Would you
basically,
say
yeah. No. Sorry.
would you say it's a myth that all Cubans know how to dance?
So I would say I know Cubans who cannot dance, and that's fine. So being Cuban doesn't mean that you have to dance. If you love to dance, you will dance for sure. So you can see, you will find majority of Cubans that can dance because it's a natural environment. They're used to it. That doesn't mean that all Cubans know how to dance. I know many Cubans who doesn't like reggaeton, salsa, bachata. They're more into rock, punk, heavy metal, and that's fine. They're all Cuban as well. So of course, there's a myth that all Cubans know how to dance. That's not true. And it doesn't define a Cuban. A Cuban is someone who was born there. Like
Yeah.
that's it. So and it identifies. So you don't have to be a salsa dancer or whatever to, but there's a lot of prejudice about it, and so like Latin American in general. So like, also there are many Latinos who don't know how to dance, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So like,
And
and
I think it's also a bit more, because it's this idea of dancing that people have like in Europe is a bit different in the sense that it's like
exactly,
because it's the same like with Greeks, like not all Greeks know how to dance like all the traditional dances or something, and also because like for us like the Latin dances is more like I think you have to learn in class. So for us, knowing how to dance is like, okay, do you know how to do all these figures and all of these things where of
not
course,
so natural.
if you grow up like that, it's like, okay, you grow in like a society, you hear the music all the time, people are dancing around you, but maybe you just move a bit and that's your thing. You don't want to do anything more. You just want to vibe a bit and that's it,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I guess you still like use a bit, like, would you say that for example, Cubans, that you're used more to, for example, these like more complicated rhythms, complicated for Europeans, like like contratiempo, clave, all of those things. Would you say that for you, it's like you grow up with that, so it's a lot more natural for you?
Yes. So I remember like, so when I was here in salsa class here in Germany, so people were playing the clave, of course I knew that the clave, how that sounds and but maybe I wasn't able to explain it because I didn't learn the didactic to explain to someone. But it's a natural way because like being in the natural environment, that's what you hear, that's what you see, that's what people do. Rumba is actually street, Conga, they have a Conga in Cuba. That's more like a festival Conga. Also like people all from all neighbors, they come and dancing from all around and they're playing Conga music, bongo as well, and also clave and rumba, and rumba is, Afro-Cuban, which, come from also Orishas and all of the Cubans or Afro-gods. So, it's natural. So being there, so it's natural. And so I know that Europeans, when they dance, where do I find the one?
Yeah.
And when do I do that?
I've been there.
And you do that, I mean,
We've all been there.
And it's funny because then they say, what is salsa on two? New York style, salsa on two, you do it. It's a 1, 2, but it's you hear the song, that's fun because it's salsa on two, this on two, but it's all Cuban music.
Yeah.
And we have to be clear here. Salsa, all the songs, bachata, this is all African,
Right.
African culture. Without that, we wouldn't have any salsa. These instruments are all Africans. This salsa, rumba.
Exactly. Yeah.
So from Africa, So and the rhythm, you do it. So like, bam. I have many friends from Nigeria, Congo. They listen to salsa music. They can instantly find the beat.
Wow.
Afro beats, you find it.
Yeah.
They find the beat because that's natural. That's the environment, And of course, salsa is a commercial because actually we call it casino to be more
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
precise. Casino, and and the commercial salsa mix of different, and I know in Europe they try to make, I don't know, like people have a level A1 for beginner and they extend it artificially, like beginner 1, beginner 2, beginner 3, especially just to make money.
Yeah.
But actually you don't need so much time to learn the basics.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It's just like the way that they
3 day,
structure
I
it
mean,
to make it like more like a
yeah,
traditional course, or it actually
yeah,
like reminds a lot of like a language course, that this like
yeah, yeah,
with
Yes.
this whole like
yes,
level things. And I'm also interested, Lozy, like
yeah,
in the parallels between like dancing and languages, like for example, in the way you learn and
yes,
in the way you teach, because they're weirdly similar, right?
yeah, exactly. And I also believe if you know, if you speak Spanish and you're dancing, it will be easier because that's one advantage the Latinos have. They know the language, they know the music,
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and of course they will find easier to find the rhythm. Because if you're someone who doesn't know Spanish, of course you can dance, but you will struggle to be authentic because you cannot. When you dance bachata, it's a natural environment that you sing the song with.
yes, you feel
No,
it.
amor. You have to sing. You have to live it on the streets from Dominican Republic. You live it.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lifestyle.
Wow.
You don't teach connection. You are connected.
Yeah.
That's also one thing. You don't teach a connection in bachata or on salsa. You don't teach it. You know it. You're
Mm-hmm.
connected already.
You
So
feel it.
and people a lot of in the heads,
Hmm.
in Europe, and think, okay, now 1, 2, 3, okay, now I have to do this, that. I mean, we don't do that. You do it. You actually just listen to the music, the rhythm, the music,
Mm-hmm.
because when you see salsa live music, one song can be 15 minutes.
Hmm.
That's a really
Oh
sports,
yeah.
like
Oh
really
yeah.
sports. So basically, you feel the music, and you actually basically the dancer is interpretation of the musician.
Exactly.
So the musician can do whatever he wants. He can change the rhythm. He can change from normal tiempo to contra tiempo. He can change. He can mix bachata. He can mix anything.
Hmm.
But if you're able to show it with your movement, you can make a break with your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now he's changing. So you go now. So he changed for 1 to 5. He's changing now maybe like a different rhythm. So you have to feel it to understand the music
Mm.
rhythm. So musicality is a big thing. So like basically you should understand what kind of instruments are in the area, then
Yeah.
will be easier basically.
Yeah, because in the end, like the
Wow.
music is the inspiration for whatever you do, like in dancing. It's like you interpret it with your body, basically. You hear something, you get the feeling, you get like the rhythm,
Mm.
and you want to interpret it in some way.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
yeah, and again,
But
it's
Guillermo,
go on.
that's very fascinating. I wanted to actually, this is a question we usually ask in the beginning, but back to languages. I wanted to ask you, what languages do you actually speak? I'm sure our listeners would love to know.
So like so German, Spanish, Italian, French. I'm learning Farsi and
Mm.
Russian. So I know already how to write, how to read the Russian. Now I'm learning how to write Farsi
Mm-hmm.
and Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, Swahili, um, Mandarin Chinese, which is more like between A2 B1 level. That's a level. But basically, I could survive in China. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, so those are the languages. Basically, yeah.
Wow, what a mix. I must
Yeah.
say that you're the only Cuban polyglot that I know, and probably my only Cuban friend so far. So this is really cool. Do you know any other Cuban polyglots, and how is it in Cuba? How is the foreign language education? Do you learn any foreign languages in school?
And Cuba is like most Latin American countries. You do everything in Spanish, and English is very bad. So
Mm-hmm.
extremely bad. Um, you don't, of course, later if you go to university, you can learn the foreign languages. I have not met Cuban polyglots yet, but I
Mm-hmm.
know someone because I met the Brazilian polyglot. You also know them, Jurabola. So,
Yeah.
and he connected me to some Cuban because of his organization. So he got to know like a Cuban polyglot. That's the one I know, and it's very impressive. He speaks many languages as well.
Wow.
Also like Japanese as well. So like very, yeah. So he's the only one I know. So, but here in Germany, or I don't know Cubans who speak many languages. No, not. I don't know any Cubans. No.
But I'm curious again about the like this connection between like the mentality with dancing and languages. It's, for example, like because you were saying that you have this mentality that you just kind of, you don't overthink things, you just do something, you try things out with, for example, with dancing. But has this mentality also like helped you with languages? Like, do you feel that that you are similar, you approach languages in a similar way where you don't try to be perfectionist or overthink it? Or, for example, I know that many Germans can speak foreign languages very well, but they are a bit of afraid of making mistakes and it's holding them back. Do you feel that this
Very
like
true.
different mentality has helped you actually in your language learning?
Yes, for example, like for French, I mostly used lyrics from hip hop, rap music, and I learned by heart. And that's how I was learning pronunciation, French pronunciation. And of course, you will make mistake. And then when you go to France, and if you pronounce things wrong, they will say just to your face. That's what it is. That's the hard way. But I like it because then you know you can improve.
Right.
And knowing that in Cuba, we don't care. If you come to us, you speak Spanish, doesn't matter if you sound something wrong. As long as you know how to communicate,
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah.
And also in other Latin American countries, so that's why for me, okay, it's fine. If I'm not that good enough, it's fine. It's the process. I'm learning. So, in my case, I always accounted that as a more like good environment to learn, and people were always welcoming. They always appreciate when I spoke their language. So also they helped me out. So also I asked, of course, also for feedback and as well if I pronounce something wrong. For example, in French, a lot of grammar things that you have to memorize and but also understand.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so it can be tricky for the beginning. Also the pronunciation, writing French. So I did my A levels in French, so in Germany. So
Oh,
yes, writing in French is it's hard because it's hard,
yeah. I'm also learning French a bit now, and
So
it's the writing is. I think that
writing is hard, yeah.
they should just write in IPA at this point. Honestly, it's so many combinations having the same sound. I'm like, just switch the official language to IPA, and it will be a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, for Italian, for example, I mostly grew up listening to it and speaking, so I can read, but mostly I didn't have to write anything. So if I'm writing something in Italian, it will be very beginner level, but I can, if it's written, I can understand completely everything.
Yeah.
So I understand even Italian dialects from the south, so Naples and also Sicily, because my uncle is from there, and so there's a different vibe to understand. Yeah, so even I remember when I was in Sardinia, my girlfriend, they realized, hey, you're from Naples, because actually I was speaking Italian, but they said I have the
accent or
dialect.
The accent,
Yeah, yes, because Sardinia they speak different. It's an island; they have different influences. So it was really interesting. I didn't know that. So that I thought would be more standard Italian, but of course, when you grow up, family they tend, of course, to speak their own dialect from the regions.
Of course, it's like this language, this Italian, and then the Schwäbisch German. A lot of dialects.
Yes.
A lot of
Spanish
dialects.
Italian.
Yes, exactly.
And speaking of Italy, We also like to ask our guests like some like fun questions, some like spontaneous questions, and one of them is what are your favorite countries for food, for people, and for language? And I'm curious if your favorite country for food is Italy or not.
For food.
Don't tell me it's Germany, okay? I will not say that.
Käsespätzle, nur Käsespätzle.
No, I have to go for Italian because
Yeah.
I
Tu
seen
sai.
the variation of food, you know, the creativity you can put in it. For me, yes, Italian, and yeah, so yes, that's for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
and for people
And
and
language and
language,
people?
yeah,
Like for learning a language or just
like for language reasons. Let's say
In
that you go
general.
to a country and you hear this language everywhere, and you're like, I love this country because of the language. Let's say.
I like Catalan from Barcelona, so
Oh.
it's so yes,
really like
and
dialects.
also Spain. Yes, yeah. Yes, and Madrid also like it. So it's people are nice. It feels like also like in Cuba, you know, because you can go out there, you can dance, it's more
Nice.
welcome, you know. So I like that. So yeah, Spain, Madrid, and Barcelona because of dialect, and very interesting mix of Portuguese, Italian, French, something like that, maybe. So
Somewhere in the middle.
yeah, and I would like to learn that as well. So that's a thing. So.
Okay. And when you go traveling, what would be the 3 things that you always pack with you?
Like Cuban flag, you know, la cultura.
Ambassador, ya tú sabes.
Representing.
El embajador.
Yeah, this the one thing, and of course, so headphones for music. Sometimes
Naturally.
your own space. The third thing, I actually
A clave.
so Cuban flag, headphones. I do. I write before I go to the country. I write down some phrases from a thing that I want to use. So like basic phrases. So we call like short self-made booklet of phrases that I will use, what I think that I will use, and will be helpful. So that yes, that's for sure. So it will be the third things. It's common.
Okay.
It's basically like these travel books that they have when it's like, 100 useful phrases in Italian,
Yes.
but it's your own version.
Yeah, exactly. So I will write it. So I will prepare myself home, and then I will write them down. So I think that
Love
I
it.
will use it.
That's a good one. I like that. Okay, and the final question is: if you had to live in a country for the rest of your life, which country would that be?
Man, Northern Europe somehow. It's just
No way.
yeah. Like I think I wasn't then. Yes, I think Sweden or Denmark. I went to Denmark. It was nice. So I really like it. People, culture, it's very clean. And I think also Sweden will be an optional way as well. So yes, for sure. I mean, I also like the cold. It's crazy, right? Going to Cuba, but I like cold. I like cold therapy. I do that many times, or like several times. Yes.
Man,
That's such a
Also-
surprising answer.
And also why? Because then I know that I have to go for learning Danish, Swedish, and Icelandic and Norwegian. So I'm there already, So it's not 4 different countries, 4 different languages. So basically, I would choose a country where I don't speak the language. So I know I have to speak that, I wouldn't go live in Spain or Brazil or whatever. No, I need to be in a place where I don't know anything at all.
You need a
So
challenge.
I'm going to know exactly, and the cultural, the more far the culture is, the better it is.
Wow.
So because now I can evolve there, and yes, that's why I would say like Northern Europe.
I know
So
what you
Denmark, Sweden,
I know what you mean.
Norway.
So you have to pick a country with a very difficult language so you can stay for a long time learning all the time.
I would suggest Finland.
Yeah,
You will,
yeah,
you will
for
never
sure.
learn.
For sure, man.
And it's
Yes.
cold, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's so like long. They have like, I don't know, thousands of lakes. You will never stop exploring.
Man, I would just open a salsa club and I would teach them people salsa in
Ya tú
Finland.
sabes. Representing Cuba, man.
Man,
Amazing.
all the snow will all melt down.
Oh man, you're gonna make like we have.
You would cause a climate crisis. So better not. Better
We
not.
have the global warming.
But,
You're
okay.
gonna have to leave because of the heat, then, man. But really, like, imagine the 10-year-old G, like that came out of that plane, that cold November, like afternoon, and then imagine him watching this interview and listening to you, like so many years later. I want to go to a cold country. You
Oh my
would not
God.
believe it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Oh, I have to say, Guillermo, I enjoyed this interview immensely, and I feel that also we got to know you better as friends, and and it was really cool talking to you. And we could be talking for ages, but the patience of our listeners is limited, and so is our time. So we have to be wrapping up. But I would like to thank you so much for joining us. And the last thing, where can people find you if they want to contact you?
First of all, thank you very much also for inviting me. You're an amazing host, and it's very nice, natural way to speak to you. And I love meeting you back then in Budapest. Like, man, it was amazing. And every time at the polyglot events, it's always a vibe. It's always,
Always a pleasure.
Amos is there, Asya is there, Dean is there. Man, this is party, people. This is all on. And
Love it, man.
yes,
love it every time we see you.
to find me, I have not yet it's a webpage or whatever, so not yet, but yes, Instagram, Don Havana, Don Havana.
Mm-hmm.
Havana because HABA is written in Spanish. Havana.
Havana, ya tú sabes.
Because I was born there. Yeah.
We will add it to the description, so you will be able to find Guillermo. All right, cool. And then I wish you a very nice day ahead, because this is actually Sunday morning now. And see you at the next Polyglot event, if not sooner.
Yes, you too. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, man. Looking forward to dance with you again, huh? Or maybe a concert.
Yeah,
Who
man.
knows?
Who
Who knows?
Yes. That's
That's
sabe.
That's
Bye bye.